Hello again, everybody. This is Ken Allison, and this is Mostly Sports Talk. And along with us today, of course, as we try to do at least once a week, is our good friend Lake Morris of the Anderson Independent Mail. And Lake, this equipment sometimes, we're okay, I think, this time. But this equipment drives me crazy. Okay, a lot of things have happened. Last week was the first week of the playoffs, and there was some good and some bad for our area teams.
Yes, it was. It was the first week of the playoffs for Class A, AA, and AAA. Class 4A got the week off, and like you said, it was a mixed bag of results for the area for the Anderson County schools. We had one team, I believe, actually made it out last week that we have here, and then they're going to join our two 4A schools that are going to be getting underway this week. So,
quick rundown of what happened last week to our teams.
Well, starting off, Powdersville, we'll start with them. They had to make the trip to Fairfield Central against a number 4 Griffins team in Class 2A, and they got beat 42-7 42-7, and that ended their season with a 6-5 record. Not a bad season for the Patriots, considering all they lost heading into this season. Third straight year making the playoffs.
And the school, it's either 5-6 years they've been playing ball.
Yeah, they've been playing for 4 years now.
Okay,
so
is that okay? All
just
right.
4 years of varsity football. So their next step, I guess, is definitely just to host a playoff game next year. So it's still taking baby steps for that program, just with how young it is. But not a bad year for Robert Mustar and his crew at all. They were able to battle back and get into the playoffs late in the season with 2 late wins, and gives them a lot to build on for next year.
Okay, and so moving on, we had the game you covered.
Yes, the game I covered was down in Newberry. Probably one of the biggest lines I've ever seen in a 2A school that Newberry has. They had 3 guys on their offensive line that were above 300 pounds. One guy at
3?
3 guys.
3?
3.
Wow.
There are some 4A schools that don't have that.
No, they don't.
Then they had a guard at 290, and then their little guy was 260. So,
okay.
Most offensive lines, their big guys in high school are 260. So, they ran the ball a lot. They have one of the better quarterbacks in 2A, in Yafari Wirtz. Not much of a thrower, but he is definitely a running threat, and he had running touchdowns of 70 and 62 yards.
Goodness, yeah.
Those two really decided the game there. Still think that should have been a second or third round matchup in that bracket, but how the bracket was laid out, that was a first round matchup for Pendleton. And they finished their year at 8-3. Not a bad year for them at all.
Yeah, their losses were to Woodruff in the league,
Belton, Honeypath, and Newberry.
Okay.
3 very good quality teams. I know afterward, Coach Sutherland told me that they were really hoping for more. They wanted to win the region. They wanted to maybe make it to the second round of the playoffs, but he said that that's just not how it was. And sometimes you have to tip your team to a hat and just say the better one beat you. And that's what he says, like the better team won that game.
Okay. Yeah.
There'll be a lot of teams that say that to Newberry probably because they're the defending upper state champions. But that really wrapped us up for our 2A, and that wraps up our 2A slated games for this year. We did have a little bit of surprise though in the playoffs in Class 3A. Wren upset number 10 Lancaster 43-41 last week and improved their record to 7-4.
That was a real, as they would say, a shootout.
It was.
In the old days, we called it a barn burner. I don't know why, but
well, I think a few barns got burned to the ground in that game.
Yeah.
Lancaster, as I said, came in at number 10 in the state in Class 3A. Wren came in a little bit struggling. They had won their last game of the season, and they had to outscore them, like Coach Tate says they have to do a lot of the time. And it was a good win for them, though. I think that really helps because they have a pretty young group of guys coming back for next year. They lose some key seniors, but most of that team is young. Getting them some more playoff experience is great, and they're going to get some experience this week when they have to go to Chapin out near the Columbia area where they play number 5 Eagles.
Okay.
And, they have 2 north-south guys on their offense. They also have a very good junior tight end that's getting a lot of college attention. Their offense can score and score a lot. They score about 49 points a game. So if We had a barn burner last week. We're
Yeah.
probably going to have another one this week for the Hurricanes. That's the game I'll be at this Friday.
Yeah, okay. That's a pretty good little trip down there.
It will be.
So.
I'll be, luckily I have some family down there, so I'll be staying the night in Columbia.
All right, okay.
Going to Groucho's the next day and get me a sandwich, hopefully.
Okay, good, yeah.
And, of course, our game of the week last week was BHP in Union County. From what I heard, it was a fantastic ball game.
For people who do not know or remember, Union County is coached by a former Gamecock quarterback, Steve Tannehill, and his coaching resume is very, very good.
It is.
From the 8-man football to Chesterfield.
Yes, he played.
He won a state championship somewhere.
He won a state championship at Chesterfield, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. That's not something that happens down there very often.
And so he has been under the gun a little bit, but he lost some games, but he lost all games to quality opponents this year.
Union County, I don't think there's a team that has played a more difficult non-region schedule than Union County this year. All but one of their losses came to ranked teams this year.
Yeah.
So that I don't think you can ask more of that from your team. They're going to have another tough one this week. I believe they play Greer this week, so that's going to be another.
Now, is Greer's been number one some of the year, some of the season, have they?
Yeah, they've bounced
1
up
and
to
2,
one.
3.
They kind of stay at number 3 right now.
Okay.
South Point's number 1, Hartsville's number 2, and Greer's number 3 right
That'll
now.
be Yellow Jackets against Yellow Jackets.
It will, and that might be a trend this Friday.
And it is a trend. Yes, it is.
Again, if you're not in the area and you want to go watch a good game, I'd suggest go to Greer Union County because that one could be a very, very good physical ball game against two really traditional, strong programs in the state. For BHP, the loss dropped them to 8-3 on the season. Not a bad year for the Bears at all.
Yeah, and tell us who they lost to. Yeah.
They lost to number 6 Westside and number 4 Seneca before losing to Union County.
See?
So I know Coach Black and them probably wanted more this year, as they always do.
Yeah, and they're capable
of
doing almost anything over there. They're very good.
Yeah, I think that you look at an 8-3 season with your nose turned up to it. That's probably just because you're a victim of your own success a little bit, and you have that such a high standard.
Right.
But I think once they take a step back from it and maybe a few weeks let it settle in, they're going to see this was a pretty good year and a great year to end their run in Class 3A before they go to Region Class 4A next season.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, as we said, there's a trend this week. Battle of Yellow Jackets apparently in the state.
That's right.
T.L. Hanna's going to be on the road to open the Class 4A Division II playoffs at Irmo.
And they're going to be playing Yellow Jackets against Yellow Jackets there.
They are, and this is actually the first time these schools have met since 1978. I thought they'd met a lot more times since then, but apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't remember, by the way, ever having gone down and done a game at Irmo. I've seen a game played there. I don't think all down through the years that all my broadcasting around the state, I've ever done a game out of that stadium.
I've been to the stadium. I've been to it as well. It's a nice little stadium.
Yeah.
It's tucked right off of Harbison Boulevard, which is, if any of y'all are going, need a good burger, go to Rush's before the game.
Okay.
You might see me there.
All right.
Being a Columbia native, I know where to eat, and that's one of the best burgers you can get.
All right.
I
noticed you like to bring up the food bit. That's...
I'm a sports writer.
Yeah.
Once we get done with...
Yeah.
After games, all we got left is good food.
That's right.
But yeah, this is the first time they've met since 1978. Irma won that game 23-7. But Hanna still owns the all-time record, 2-1-1 on the season, on the all-time record. But all those games were played in the 70s, so really that's a moot point, I guess.
Yeah.
Just a fun fact.
Right.
Just a fun fact to know. Irmo, though, does struggle on offense. They score about 25 points a game, but they give up about 34. And they're going to be facing a Hanna offense that scores about 43 a game. So this could be a game where Hanna pulls away late and makes the score a little more respectable. But Irmo has held their last 5 opponents to under 30 points. So
Hanna's going to have to cut out the turnovers, though. They're really going to have to do something about the turnovers.
That killed them in the region title game 2 weeks ago against Westside.
Mm-hmm.
If they commit 5 turnovers, Irmo has a great shot to win that game. But if they cut it down to maybe 1 or 2, I think Hanna can probably run away with that one as it gets going into it.
And do they? I bet you don't know yet. Do you know if they win? Do they come back home, or they have to go somewhere else? Do you know?
They will likely be on the road, and because they're going to be playing the winner of Spartanburg and South Florence, so they're going to be playing Spartanburg probably. I
wouldn't play too hard to be able to get over there and do that.
No, but yeah, like I said, they're slated to play the winner of South Florence and Spartanburg. They're probably going to be playing at Spartanburg, whoever wins this game.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see Spartanburg losing to South Florence. If they do, that might be the upset of the year.
It would be.
But yeah, so and we do have one more. We have one game here in the county Friday. Westside is going to host Cane Bay to start the Class 4A Division II playoffs as well. Little fun fact: Hannah and Westside are on opposite ends of the bracket, so there's a mathematical chance Hannah and Westside could meet for a state title.
One more chance, yeah.
And it's even crazier. Hillcrest is in Division I, so we could realistically have two teams from the same region win different state titles. As crazy as that can possibly be.
That would be crazy, but it could be. Now, do you know much about Cane Bay? I have not done a whole lot of research on Cane Bay.
I know a little bit about them. They were founded in 2008 after Somerville split off another school to help enrollment swelling. They've made the playoffs 6 of the past 8 years of their existence. So they're a pretty good team. They run a traditional wing tee offense. They do have a lot of good athletes down there. This is their second consecutive year making the playoffs. They missed it 3 years ago. This is also Westside's second straight year hosting a playoff game. They haven't done that. And they're also going to be looking to win their first playoff game since 2007.
Okay. Right. Okay.
That's definitely a long streak I think they're hoping to break there. And because that's 8 years of no playoff victories for a school, which is a pretty long time, I think.
Right. One thing that we did not cover there, you may have your note there, as getting ready to kind of close it out here. Seneca they're in your coverage area.
Yes, they are.
So they are playing.
They're going to be playing Chapman in the second round of Class 3A at Tom Bass Field. This could be a very high-scoring ball game. Chapman averages about 40 a game. Seneca is at 53. I think this will be a pretty fun game to watch. Of course, Seneca has a Shrine Bowl selection in Nike Diggs, their nose guard. Their quarterback Elijah Turner is a North-South selection. And Chapman has a North-South selection as well in Zane Gilliland, an offensive lineman. But their main playmakers are sophomores. So I think this will be a very fast-paced game, I think, because they both like to run no huddle. Get your popcorn for this one and get your scorebooks ready because we're going to have a lot of lines and a lot of erase marks in it.
Okay. So that's the way the playoffs affect the teams in our area here. And there are a lot of other games going on, man. You got on up around that Rock Hill, Gaffney area with Dorman and Spartanburg and South Point and Burns. Don't forget them. A lot of stuff going on in that corner of the state up there.
It is. And I guess one last thing for the Westside Cane Bay game. If I had it written down, which I don't, I was going to tell you who they were going to be playing next possibly, but I don't have that written down, so I apologize, everybody.
Well, that can be a secret till we meet again.
If you want to figure it out yourself, go to the schsl.org and look at the bracket. I guess I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, no problem. Lake Morris, Anderson Independent Mail, who is with us at least once a week, and we're not far from trying to get into a little basketball, and that keeps you busier, I would think, than football does.
It does.
It's played more and so much going on. So, okay, everybody. This is Ken Allison along with Lake Morris, and this is Mostly Sports Talk, and we'll see you later.